Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Walkthrough Wednesday, where we're going to be doing a really good question from the Discord server. This was a question, I think, from Intrust, and he was saying, why don't you remake one of your old tracks in like the 2020 style? Because tracks like Ecuador Soldier maybe aren't as widely accepted now because the sounds have changed over time. Certain clubs don't play a certain style anymore. So I thought it would be good for me to approach this as like, if I was going to make a remix now, how would I do it? So I chose Ecuador, and of course I bought it from Beatport because you got to support the artists. So yeah, I'm going to do a 2020 kind of version of Ecuador. The reason why I'm only going to do the drop is, one, because I'm lazy, and two, because I wouldn't actually change the breakdown. I think the breakdown's kind of cool, the big synths. The big synths are still popular now. I think on all labels they kind of still work, especially for a festival mix. Before we get into that, I have some good news. I'm going to be starting to do full videos on YouTube again. Maybe 2 a month, if I can do it. I've recorded a full Battlefield walkthrough, the drop and the breakdown, in 2 videos because the drop took like 40 minutes. So I will be uploading them for everybody to watch, the full thing, because I think it's good for you guys to see how I made certain stuff. The Patreon videos will just be specific questions from you guys, like this one, for example. If you have any specific questions that you want covered, maybe other YouTubers don't see your question or something, all you need to do is join the Patreon squad for $1 a week. You join the Discord server, you can talk shit with us, you can send tracks for collab ideas, for feedback, chat with all the squad over there, and you can ask specific questions which I will cover weekly in videos like this. But the other main videos will maybe be 2 a month. I just want to keep them separate, you know, because the Patreon thing has worked so well for me because I get to answer your specific questions, whereas in the past the YouTube comments were a bit like cluttered with stuff, so I couldn't really pick people's specific questions. Now I've got such a small community of basically, I call them the Patreon fam, where I can basically cover everyone's questions. It's a lot easier, it's a smaller group. On YouTube you'll get like 20 times more people wanting to ask questions, so I think that way is the best way. And then for the main channel uploads, what I'll be doing is, yeah, track walkthroughs. How did I make my new sample pack? For example, the Rave Room kit, the newest sample pack is the best one I've ever made. I think it's insane. Like, I love all the drops, and I think it's good for me to show you how I actually came up with them, and basically the drops you can use in your own project. So if you want to join the fam, you get sample packs, blah blah blah. I don't have to explain, but just click the link in the description. And yeah, let's get into today's question or topic. Now, I've got the MIDI here. Yes, I should know this MIDI off by heart. I don't know the MIDI off by heart, so I had to Google it, and this is what I came up with. This is what I basically found. So here it is, just for you to hear. Such a beautiful melody. Still not sick of that one. But yeah, as you can see, there is bass notes. Now, in the drop that I made, the bass notes didn't change. It just stayed constantly on the D sharp the whole way throughout the drop. That was a very kind of 2015-16 big room approach. Now I want to do something a little bit different. You know, people respect the chords more, the melodies more. So I found this kick drum, which I think is really nice and sharp. And what we're going to do is try and go for like a hard psytrance big room version, because that's the version I would play today. I think the melody's so iconic that it still works today, but we just need a slightly faster BPM. As you can see, maybe even 142 will work. Faster BPM, that's just the way I'm going with my sound as well. I think most clubs, especially in Asia, respect the harder sound more. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep the big room vibes with the lead, but we're going to change the bass line, just give it a 2020 update. Now, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I think it could be okay. Obviously I do like the original. I'm just kind of you do get sick of it, like playing it every show you play. You just play the same thing over and over again, and nowadays, you know, I'm not playing many big room tracks anyway, so I need to make something that fits my set. So it kind of works out. What we're going to do is take the lead, of course. Now the notes here are very short. I don't like that. I want to introduce pitch bending. In the original track, I didn't do any pitch bends on the lead. It's just just nothing. But now I want to pitch bend a little bit, so because it just gives more movement and sounds a little bit more cool. So we're going to take a big room lead. We're going to also go for that Armin van Buuren style, but I think it's important to keep that big room effect as well. Maybe lower octave. You see how the notes are just not the way I want them, so I want to get them to my own size. It's the most annoying thing in the world. Should have done this before, to be honest. I'm sorry you guys have to sit through that. Just skip the video on. You're not gonna miss much. But anyway, there is the notes, kind of all on the same amount of velocity as you've seen before. There's lots of notes on top of each other as if it was played live on a piano. This is just stagnant. So we're going to try and find the best way, the best length of note, basically. And to save a bit of time, I'm just going to load. Let's load this one. It's just a lead bus, you know, the simple stuff. I don't think this one has isotope trash on it. Now I turned the trash off, and this should be good. Let's turn the reverb off here. What we're going to do is open up... oh, wrong thing. Completely wrong thing. A bus, basically a reverb bus. And we're going to do some sidechain reverb on this, just so we can get a super epic reverb, but also very clean as well. What we're going to do here is turn off the sidechain there and sidechain it on the main one. Make sure you right click, route to this track only. Let's do it in colors, just so it's easier for you guys to track, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos and people are working so cleanly, and I respect it a lot. It is a lot easier to follow, so I'm going to try and do this for you guys because I'm nice. I think it's easier for you guys to follow when you've got colors, everything the same thing. So this is the lead. As you can see, the reverb is very wet right now, so what we're going to do is right click, link to the controller. We're going to pick the peak of the lead bus. We're going to invert the mapping formula there. Boom. As you can see, this button, I think I've showed this in a few videos ago, but however much you move this affects the amount of wet reverb. Then we're going to play with the settings in here a little bit. So let's check it on top of the kick. Let's try and mix the volumes correctly. Not that one, not that one. So the notes are just too long and too boring, so we need to shorten them a little bit. I like the idea of having this one a little bit longer. And it adds to the smoothness of the drop, I would say. And the first thing we're going to do is do some pitch bending, because obviously I didn't do that in the 2016 or 2015. I made it in the 2015 version. So this is something that I would do nowadays that I didn't do back then, the first thing. Let's get the pitch right. 12 up, 12 down. Just going to change that like that, and then make sure your pitch range is also on 12 so it will pitch correctly. And let's just do some weird shit and see what works. What I like to do is always copy the 50%, because you're always going to need to redraw the 50%, and maybe do that. So I'm just going to do some stuff. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but let's just try. So this note needs to be longer as well. I also love those notes that I did. Like, I don't know why I did those notes. I just think those are so sick. I was a genius back then compared to what I am now. Let's try and emulate those notes a little bit. I think it's like so it'll work really well with the side bass as well. Yeah, so I like that. Let's just make those a little bit shorter there. Like so. See if we could shorten the general notes. Let's see. I think this could be, because note length is very, very important. Notes are too long, are just kind of really flat and boring. Yes, it's got mad energy already. It needs a bit of cleaning up, but so bassline. We're gonna take a side bass from good old Kashmir and see if we can create a nice little bassline there. D sharp's the key of the track. Something like this, which has got a really like crispy top layer to it. We're just going to draw it like this. This always works. It's in E though, so we need to make sure it's in D sharp. And what I want to do actually is do some really crazy stuff and actually go up and down the scale. We're going to make some chords here because it does, in the track, in the drop of the track, it does have a bass line which changes. In mine I just did D sharp across the whole thing. So what do we need to do? We need to go from a D sharp up to an F sharp down to a C sharp. So we're going to go F sharp, so there's our F sharp. Now we need to left click, make unique, so we can change this without affecting the rest. D sharp, D, C sharp. Now we've got the C sharp. Now what do we need next? D sharp and then an A sharp. So we just grab this D sharp like this. Okay, so I messed up there. No sweat. Let's just try and get this right. This needs to be repeated. Yeah, I completely messed this up. So let's just move this. And this one was. Where have I gone wrong here? Oh, so it's the C sharp that we need. So we need to go like that. So there is our bass line. I'm thinking maybe we can add, because usually the side trance bass line is this with the 3 notes. But what I can do is just reduce the volume a little bit. We are going to need to sidechain this as well. So what I am going to have to do is put them all on the same thing. So number 7 is the mixer track for the side bass. Things you hate to do. To go through. Actually, yeah, I could have done this a much better way, but number 7.